Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. And I kind of want to talk about something here today. So, a few months ago, I participated in Ludum Dare 40. And, well, it was certainly an interesting experience in terms of what I learned from it. So I thought I'd share some of the things I remember from it and some of the very big things I learned about making games during the process of Ludum Dare 40. So, before I fully get into it, I should probably explain what I actually made. So what you see here playing is a game I created called Blinding Light. It's a fairly short game. As you'll see here in a few minutes, it'll be finished incredibly short. And it's pretty much building off of the theme of the game, which is the more there are, the worse it gets, which I interpreted as light. So as the player continues, the light expands around them, slowly covering all the blocks on the screen, except for a few objects which you'll see over the course of this entire thing. And you pretty much have to shrink your light over it all. Otherwise, the light will fully consume the screen and you will not be able to platform whatsoever. It's a fairly simple game in terms of its execution, but it's something that works and got me actually 22nd overall in terms of theme for Ludum Dare 40. Most of the other things were fairly unremarkable in terms of their scores, but it was a fairly good game in terms of its execution. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things I definitely could have improved on, but it's something I'm very happy I created with what I have in terms of my experience, in terms of my resources, and in terms of the time I was given to actually make this project. So, real quick, speaking on the notion of time, looking back at this, I pretty much wasted my second day. I spent most of it sort of just goofing off at home, trying to relax during the entire course of it. And I think this is also because it was a fairly large week in terms of things that were about to happen, because I am still in school and I have a lot of things going on at school. But even still, I spent a lot of the time relaxing at home, trying to work on the game, but not getting very far, so I ended up removing the progress I made. And even when I did want to permanently work on it, my computer is old and really didn't want to cooperate with what I wanted to do for that day. So it was certainly challenging in terms of its execution. So yeah, I pretty much wasted the whole second day, and that's something I very much regret not spending more time on, because it could have fixed a lot of the different things, a lot of the different problems that the game currently had at the time. I'm also not super happy about not putting more time into the play and rate session, which could have helped give me a lot more feedback, a lot more accurate score. While I'm happy with a 22nd rating for theme, I'm not sure it's completely accurate for what I actually created in the game. So I wish I spent more time actually playing games, actually rating games, actually getting more rates for the games. Because I only pretty much got the bare minimums for the games and played a few games, and then I pretty much walked away from it entirely until the results came out. So I definitely wish I spent more time working on that instead of doing my own things. So, and finally, I remember a lot of major problems in Blinding Light here. The chief problem, especially, is the health system, which, as you will see coming up, has a very notable flaw. So I originally tried to get it so it reset back to 3 health once it got to 0, but I stupidly decided to use save states, which pretty much left you at 1 health if you were on 1 health, which was a kind of a terrible decision in terms of it. It kind of just reset the health bar, not so much the actual health. And then also this freezing thing that would happen. Invincibility frames don't exist on it, so that means you pretty much die in one hit almost anyways. So that's a major flaw in it. My health system and checkpoint system was generally very flawed in its execution. And I wish I spent especially that time on the second day trying to work on it more, trying to figure out a better solution for it. But generally, I decided to kind of leave Blinding Light as is once I actually finished it. So I kind of just left it to that. And that's my own decision, and I kind of regret doing it. Another smaller thing was music. Music wasn't terribly well received on it, and I wish I'd worked on it a little more. I ended up making it at like 2 in the morning before the deadline actually came, the last day before the deadline, and that probably had a major effect on how the music actually came out for the entire project. So I'm pretty sure if I had the time, I could have made the music better, considering I actually know a fair bit about how rhythm and stuff works, since I am somewhat of a music student. So I wish I'd spent the time working on it a little more, and I think if I had the time, and if I managed my time a lot better, I could have definitely improved it. So overall, I think that I could have used time much better than I actually did. So like if I was able to actually use that second day a lot more than I could have, I think I could have fixed a few of the problems that this game had, like some of like the random freezes on death for a long period of time, the entire health system, and possibly could have improved the music so I wasn't doing it at 2 in the morning. However, I'm not mad about what I've created. I'm actually incredibly proud of what I've created, because this is the first project I actually finished on time for a game jam. My other two projects, Don't Forget QB and Pong, I never ended up submitting to the jams I initially made for. So actually completing it for a project like this and actually getting fairly decent reviews and stuff for it is incredibly encouraging for what I have done, and is kind of just a major boost to my self-esteem, because it really helps to know that I can actually make these things for people and that they will actually enjoy them. So that's pretty much it, I guess. So I think you can expect me to do Ludum Dare 41, and I will absolutely try and do it, and I will probably enjoy the hell out of it, just because of how fun of an experience it actually is. So, I guess if you want to stick around, and I guess if you don't, I'll see you at Ludum Dare 41.